Hello, and welcome to the Nostalgia Hatch. Today we're going to be talking about another game, but not a video game this time. We're going to talk about a board game. Well, it's not really a board game. It's Clue, the VCR mystery game, in VHS format. Because don't nobody got time for Betamax. In this game, you watch a video while you try and figure out who done it. You know, it's the classic Clue setup, just with a video cassette. They have this guy who is your host, and you know, you meet this guy right at the beginning.
You are about to meet the suspects, weapons, and rooms of the VCR mystery game Clue.
You talk to the dude for a while. Well, he talks to you. If you were talking to him, he might look a little crazy. But he talks to you. He tells you how to play the game. You know, tells you a few other things.
I'm a female.
What?
I'm a female.
Hey man, however you choose to self-identify, but I don't want to hear about your downstairs mix-up.
Stop the tape. It's time to play.
Let me out of here, honey! I'm gotta get out!
Listen, can't leave now. It's pouring outside.
We start off with Mrs. White watching two of the new characters they added for this game. Standing at the door, Miss Peach is all, I want to get out of here. But Sergeant Gray is all, no you can't leave, it's raining outside, you'll die. Honestly, if they both left or died right now, you could still have a Clue game without them, because they weren't in Clue.
I will have the professor's formula by morning. I must cut off now.
This stereotypical Far Eastern woman is Mrs. Scarlet. And is it just me, or does she kind of look like a real-life version of Min Supernussenpone?
Moose! Ahoo! Talk later.
I think I have amnesia.
You have had it a long time?
Ever since I can remember.
Tee-hee. Don't worry. Ridiculous scenes and jokes are something this game does not lack in. In fact, it's paced pretty much like a CDI or 3DO game, which says all kinds of bad things about CDI and 3DO, but those are for another time.
That's all I have to say.
After that, we see Professor Plum and Miss Peach while they're standing there talking and apparently trying to eat some popcorn.
I've developed an exciting new formula. The floor wax.
Just how did your brother die?
Two of us went on an elephant hunt in Guinea, celebrating Reggie's inheritance of the family money. Shot in the back. Oh.
These two colorful characters are Miss Peacock and Colonel Mustard.
Did they ever find who did it?
Near as we can figure, the elephant somehow managed to get his paws on the gun.
Bullshit.
Scum. Mrs. Vi. You don't know them like I do. Oh. I know their little secrets.
Oh no, she did not even just go there, girl. That is Mrs. White. And the other lady is one of the other characters they added to this game, and her name is Mrs. Rose.
I hear you're in business. What kind?
None of your business. My card.
As you saw, that was Mr. Green, and yes, he will be playing the resident asshole for most of this production.
Like the monsoons of Sumatra.
Remember that summer in Sumatra?
I was never in Sumatra.
You would think after the first time, Colonel Mustard would learn maybe he ought not bring up the past if he doesn't remember it exactly. But he makes this mistake several times throughout the game, and the joke gets old very fast.
Like my daddy always says, give me a good neuromuscular poison any day.
exactly was your father, Miss Peach?
The applause greets the trio who has just arrived in the Call Opera House.
Okay.
Monsieur Buddy, he made out this will a few days before he died.
A new will?
This stereotypical Frenchman is Monsieur Brunet.
Oh, I am, how you say, the misrepresentation of the culture français.
And he is the lawyer for the deceased man who owned the mansion that they are all in. And I know that sounds more like the plot to a scary movie than a Clue game, but just stick with me, you'll see how it all works out in the end.
It seems Monsieur Buddy suspected you, his old friends, of wanting to kill him.
No freaking way. He was suspicious of all these suspicious-ass people. I guess that's what he gets for hanging around with a bunch of suspicious-ass people.
I wish that all who attend the reading of my will be declared my legal heirs according to the following conditions.
I sure hope those conditions aren't that the last one surviving gets the inheritance.
Only trouble is, none of us can get our hands on the money until all the others are dead.
Damn it.
What kind of a will is that?
Just like that business in Borneo, remember?
I was never in Borneo.
He sleeps with wild women.
But something like that'll just take years and years. And I must say I do have an unfair advantage being so young.
Somebody please smack the stupid off of her.
This document is to be read at a weekend party in the hope that all of my dear friends will kill each other off.
This dude was fucked up. I mean, even if he's not, the lawyer is for sure. What kind of lawyer would let someone write out a will like this? It's insane. Anyway, they're gonna keep listening to this lawyer.
Am I in your way?
There are bathroom sinks.
But I need the heating element and the kitchen.
I couldn't help it over here, your nerdly predicament.
And yes, the professor leaves the poison in the kitchen and walks off, which leads to pretty much every character tampering with a food item in one way or another.
Are you hungry, young man?
Sergeant! Sergeant Gray.
Fire! My name? Zook on the list.
Anyway, like I was saying, the professor leaves the poison in the kitchen and people start to poison in the food items.
Oh my, poison. You should never leave poison around food. What's that? I thought I saw something at the window.
Okay, now turn around. Turn around.
There, by the window.
How could you see out the window? The shade's pulled.
Oh, my mistake.
And this leads to the cliche scene where everyone's sitting around the dinner table trying to feed the item they poisoned to everybody else, but they're not eating anything themselves because they know everything is pretty much poisoned.
Nobody ate soup, and nobody ate salad. I'm sure it was wonderful.
Poison is like the milk of ambrosia for us rich people.
The other folks scare me, especially that brunette.
Oh.
But I know I can depend on you, sugar.
You did that on purpose! No. Not you! Him! I saw you sneak up on me! You're trying to kill me!
It's just a teddy bear!
Do you know how many people are killed by teddy bears each year?
Well, hello there, Mr. Crazy. It's so nice to see you.
Murder!
All right, who wanted pizza and didn't get any for us?
Oh, moidalize the guy, I tells you. Moidalize.
Oh.
Just my little joke. I thought they might need a push to get things started.
The one person who I thought might be a little bit sane. And he's just as sick and twisted as everyone else. He isn't even going to get any money if everybody else dies, so what's the point?
What about Boddy's other will? The one before this?
Right. Is the old will good now?
Oh, yes. If you can find it.
What do you mean by that?
My brother liked to hide things. I imagine the old will is somewhere in the house.
So Mrs. Rose burned the other will, and now they're trying to find the other will so that they can continue playing the game. Still, I don't know why they don't just split up the money, but through this piece of exposition, we learn that they're going to be looking for another will in the next few scenes.
Special bulletin. An espionage agent working for a foreign power has been seen in the vicinity. Known as the Crimson Lady, this spy is believed to be armed and dangerous.
How clumsy of me.
That doesn't look sketchy. Just shoot the TV if a bulletin about a wanted espionage agent comes on. That doesn't look sketchy at all.
Another special bulletin. The notorious sneak thief and suspected husband killer, Ma Bluebird, is now believed to be somewhere in the area.
Well, at least it appears that they are equally idiotic.
Special bulletin. A patient from the local insane asylum escaped sometime yesterday and is believed to be still in the area. More later.
Oh my goodness, one of them escaped from the insane asylum? I wonder which one it was.
Why are you staring at me like that? Put down the knife! Oh, I know. You want to get even. He tried to kill you, and he deserves to die. They all deserve to die.
I'm pretty sure they all belong in an insane asylum.
It seems kind of funny not remembering your own childhood. What about your family?
I don't have a family.
When you hear yourself mumbling.
Don't expect a pull. No fault of mine.
Pink candlestick.
Let's just move on to the next scene.
When do you suppose we can leave?
Special bulletin. The river level is going down and the bridge should be repaired by tomorrow.
Thank you.
How marvelously convenient.
Just like in Mozambique.
I was never in Mozambique.
This joke is lame. Tie a note. Get a new one. That one really blows.
Check yours.
There's a chapter on me.
On just about everyone. Really, Plum.
Oh, that was an important experiment.
Mrs. White seems to have the goods on us.
As you can see, Plum and Mr. Green found Miss White's diary, and it's got information on all the characters in there. But they're just going to leave you hanging on that important experiment line for now.
Body. Oh, Body.
I'm not going to even ask why they didn't kill her while she was asleep.
I am certain everyone is anxious to hear this will.
Oh, yes, please, Mr. Stereotype, do go on.
According to this will, Jean Body leaves his entire estate to be divided among his dear friends.
That is more like it.
I still don't understand why they didn't just do that from the beginning.
Uh-oh.
What do you mean by that?
There seems to be a codicil attached to this will.
I suppose next you're going to tell me he had a long-lost child.
Our provisions will be declared void if my long-lost child is discovered to be alive.
Boy, my head being right all the time.
In the event of such an happy circumstance, all my worldly wealth will go to that deserving child.
Yeah, so apparently he had a child that nobody really knew anything about, except for one person.
It was a love child. We were young and foolish. Him, a married tycoon. Me, a simple maid with mediocre references.
Well, what happened to it, Miss White? Where did it go?
I was determined to raise the baby on my own until... Oh, gypsies! Gypsies came in the middle of the night and stole our baby!
What would gypsies want with a baby? You know what makes about much sense? Is anything else in this?
Were there any distinguishing marks?
A birthmark. On the left leg. In the shape of... a candlestick.
What do you know? Sergeant Gray's crazy ass just struck it rich.
Oh, my stars! That's me, Mama! Look!
That stupid girl didn't just try and take a bunch of money away from that crazy dude, did she?
You?
Of course, see?
Well, what does Mrs. White have to say about all this?
Could have sworn we had a boy.
She's a pretty terrible mother.
Seance in 5 minutes.
I certainly hope that mischievous spirit of hilarity doesn't follow them.
Speak to us, O spirits. Is there a spirit present?
Yes. Get out.
Why? Peacock. I was your husband.
A lot of husbands.
If we run across anyone named Reggie, I'm leaving too.
As you can see, some sort of hilarity ensued. I mean, I don't know who would find that hilarious, but it was meant to be hilarious.
And the murderer is...
Who did that?
Everyone stay put.
Damn it. I thought for sure that was it.
Burn in the wheel! They're all trying to kill me!
Little fool! She burned up the will!
Oh, no, not again. Truce?
Truce. There wouldn't happen to be a third will lying about somewhere? As a matter of fact, there is.
Oh, super. So we're just gonna keep right on going with this.
Get another murderer?
I don't feel right about this.
Shut up. Collect that first installments tonight. No checks, no credit cards.
So, Albert Einstein and Nikola Tesla over here going to blackmail a bunch of ne'er-do-wells that they are locked inside of the house with.
Who stole my diary?
Oh good, Mrs. White has sobered up long enough to realize her diary is gone.
Do you remember what was in it?
I know everything, Mr. Brown. And now, someone else knows.
Who'd have thought that all these people trying to murder each other would actually consider trying to murder someone?
Welcome to our program. Tonight we'll show you how to sharpen a knife.
Special bulletin. We have just received this update on the escaped homicidal maniac. Officials now confirm that the patient is a male in his mid-20s. He is thought to be wearing a policeman's uniform and is considered dangerous. Officials refuse to reveal his identity. The maniac has amnesia and wouldn't know his own name anyway.
Darn.
Now,
Big shocker. Sergeant Gray was the escaped maniac all along. And apparently he's not too bright either.
He was out to cheat y'all, did you know that?
Bitch!
And another shock. The sketchy lawyer was up to no good all along.
I didn't come by accident. He planned on the first will being destroyed and made me pose as a legal heir. He's not even a real lawyer, but he is my daddy.
Great, so now we're gonna get the police involved, right?
And I am not French.
At least there's a reason for a stereotypical portrayal as a Frenchman.
I even bought this silly accent from an old pastry chef.
Bullshit. It looks like Sergeant Gray is going to start killing off these people. I've been waiting so long for this.
All the bodies are insane.
They've all just realized that Sergeant Gray is the long-lost child, not Miss Peach. And of course, Ms. Rose is taking offense to this because she's, part of the Body family. And unfortunately, no one has been killed yet, but I still have hope.
Sharpen both edges of the knife evenly.
Okay.
Keep constant pressure on the blade as you draw it slowly across the stone. First one edge, then the other.
I don't know how they're supposed to be scared of him. And I'm willing to bet that he's not going to kill anybody.
Let's barricade ourselves in the kitchen.
Alright, here's my problem with this whole thing. I find it hard to believe that there's absolutely no way that they couldn't contact somebody to come and help them. I mean, even in The Shining, they at least had a radio.
You want to know what his secret is?
You wouldn't dare.
Let me guess. An underworld mobster.
Businessman. Ladies' lingerie.
He used to be a mobster until they caught him skimming money off the top. Now he's on the run.
And instead of doing the sensible thing, which is everyone banding together to take down the crazy man armed with a gun coming to kill them, they start telling each other secrets.
Sure, I can trust you good people not to let Big Louie know where I am.
All depends.
Big Louis has put a price on Monsieur Green's head.
$1 million. Alive or dead.
Great job, Professor Plum. I'm sure that won't backfire on you in any way.
So he fed the experimental substance to his wife instead.
She would have died anyway.
Professor Plum is pretty fucked up. But as you can see, they're starting to tell each other secrets and everyone's getting all emotional.
Madame Rose! You! Madame Rose!
It looks like finally they're going to start trying to kill each other.
Try come on to me, will you?
How about working together, honey?
I dare to be crazy to trust you.
So?
You got yourself a deal.
Welcome to Body Mansion.
That's it. They're all ready to kill each other. And nobody gets killed. That's the end of the video. And nobody ever actually gets killed in the video. But let me explain how the game works. In the game, each player chooses one of the characters in the movie. And they're that character for the rest of the game. And in order for someone to win, they have to play rounds of cards where you can ask people personal questions and stuff, but only if you have certain cards. And you try and find out who each person is, and in order to win, you have to guess each person's identity and whodunit. But all the answers for whodunit are inside of a book. You use the red filter that comes with the game to figure out what the answers are. But that's pretty much how it's played. I mean, the video just plays into helping you figure out who each person is, and I suppose it helps you figure out locations and things like that, but It doesn't play any role other than that. It's mostly for entertainment, if you ask me. But I can see how this game would be entertaining in a party setting. I could see myself, maybe when I was like 15, playing this with some friends or something. Seems like a good game to keep a bunch of teenagers entertained, but the humor in it is lacking. You can't really ask for much, though. It's a game. It's a game. But hey, it's not a bad one, I wouldn't say. Probably a B+ overall. And with that, all I got to say is get on out my hatch.
Happy hunting, whoever you are.
50,000? You got 50,000 on Double Dragon?